Are you looking at are you right?
Oh, I'm looking at the camera.
You're smiling?
I'm smiling.
Hello and welcome back to the Freedom Network. My name is Troy Colmer, and our mission is to help you to become self-empowered and limitless. We're going to give you all the tools that you need to be able to do this. We've created a brand new, totally free platform, a free community, where you can come and join, and to help us raise the vibration of this earth. And we do that together by you becoming strength. And so once you become strength, everything around you becomes strength. Craig and I, we live by this example every day, and you'll see us on, mainly see me, probably not Craig, but you'll see me every day. I do a live every morning to get people to realise that the days go by fast. You know, so we're day 8 into this year as the recording of this episode. So we're on day 8 of this year, and you know, there's seven down, and we're on the day 8. So tomorrow will be day 9. So we don't want to waste it. And anyway, so today's episode is going to be our 5th episode on how manifesting works, because there's just a few more things that we need to talk about, because our idea is to give you every single tool that you need to be able to become self-empowered for yourself. I'm trying to give you 8 years worth of knowledge in 5 episodes. But if you really want to, supercharge yourself, well, come over to the free network, and that's all about getting self-empowered. And I've got my good mate here again with me, my fabulous co-host, Craig Harris. He is a fitness expert, I would say, and all-around top bloke. So how are you today, Craig?
Good, thanks, Matt. Good, thanks for having me.
And
getting used to the seat.
Are you getting used to the hot seat?
Getting used to being in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it the hot seat.
No, I wouldn't call it a hot seat either. Yeah. I've got no one to hot it out.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying what we're putting out there.
Yeah, well, like we keep saying, it's a big mission to. Well, my personal mission is to get 1 million people by 2023 to self-empower 1 million people, because they say we only need 1% of the globe or people to totally change the whole trajectory of human society. 1%.
Wow.
And so we can't say whether that's true or not, but yeah, I want to give everyone. Because this manifesting thing that we're talking about, I know this is like our last episode on it, but we'll always be talking about it because it's part of our life. But it's such a good tool if people can understand and know that, it's so real.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's such a huge. It is that big a thing to know that we are all manifesting every day, whether we believe it or we don't believe it. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It doesn't matter.
It's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. So You're manifesting every single day of your life. You as soon as you wake up in the morning every single day, you start creating your future.
Well, you virtually get a chance to, every day gives you a new chance to manifest something new and continue on with your life, isn't it? And like you say, you're doing it whether you know it or not. So your first thought in the morning pretty much sets up your day, doesn't it? If you wake up in a negative way in the morning, then you're going to have a bit of a downward spiral of a day. But if you spring out of bed and do your 5 Tibetans and our morning routine that we've set up, then you're going to put yourself on a good path.
So that's the action plan as well behind it. So you've got to have the thought and the action plan behind it to set the day up right.
Oh yeah, you can't just get up in the morning and sit on the couch and
think about
the telly with a cup of coffee and expect it all to unfold for you.
Yeah.
You've got to, it's like anything in life, you've got to action it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's one of the keys. So before we start, is there any, do we have any questions come through for the...
Well, we did have a question come through from Tim on the YouTube channel about when he was just a bit confused how you were talking about the inverted pyramid.
Oh, and the Star of David and that.
That's in the emblem. And yeah. I think he was getting a bit...
Yeah, and because I probably didn't explain it correctly either. So the inside, if you have a look at the emblem there, if you watch it on YouTube, or I can explain it to you, the inside emblem is actually 2 inverted pyramids, because we have, and the Star of David is like the 2D. That's what it's called, a flat form.
Right.
Flat, like as in looking at something flat, like a circle.
Yeah.
So you can have a circle or a ball. So if you look at a ball, then it's a ball. But if you look at it as a flat, then it's a circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's sort of, that's why it's sort of flat. But it's actually two inverted pyramids that the energy that's around our body. And because we've got the energy that comes up from the earth, and then we've also got the energy that comes down from up above. And so one's spinning one way and one's spinning the other way, the pyramids. And then that meets in the center. So we need that. So the pyramid focuses the energy, like from the point, it focuses it down through the sides.
Right. In the flat form
through the flat form, as far as I can see. The whole thing fills up with energy. So the whole pyramid sort of fills with energy. But it's coming down energy, so that's gathering the energy from up above.
Right.
So the one that's facing up is gathering the energy from up above, and the one that's facing down is gathering the energy from down below.
Right.
So we've got the both energies come together in the middle.
Oh, in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like in our heart chakra, or like in our heart center.
Right.
And that sort of goes around our body. So
that'd be the point where you've got your the emblem in the center. The
photon. Yeah. So the photon, because I just put the photon there, but that's really where we are light bodies. Like we are all light, and so a thought is light, which is a photon. But then that comes through and then comes out through our heart center, through the pyramids, as far as I can see, and then it fills up the flower of life, which is the whole program to create the reality to happen. Yeah, right. It's all pretty complex.
Yeah, but it's all pretty much summed up in the emblem. That's why you came up with the emblem.
The emblems, because they're all the pieces that I worked out over the 8 years. But, it wasn't 8 years when I worked that out, it was only a few years. But when I was in Italy, and when I was at Pompeii, and that's that plaque that was on the wall, that's like 2,000 years old. Like it's almost exactly the exact emblem.
Right.
So, they're obviously known about it from them. And then also, if you look at the Freemasons, they've got, what's their emblem?
The protractor and... Is it the protractor? Yeah.
And no, not protractor, what's it called? Square. The square, draws the lines, and also the protractor draws the circles.
Yeah.
No, is that protractor?
Yeah, it's protractor does a circle.
Yeah. God, jeez.
Isn't it?
No,
I'm not sure.
That's a compass.
A compass.
No, protractor's one with got the half round thing.
Sorry, I threw that off.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the smart guy here.
Sorry, mate. It's the weekend. I'm in relax mode.
Yeah. But if you look at their two tools, they're the exact tools that you need to draw this emblem.
Yeah, right. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then if you go on to say Pinterest or something like that and type in Freemason emblem, you'll see one, and they've got the compass. They have like a circle on that, and it's got the photon at the top of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's all.
That's the three things that you need for this emblem to work.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Well, they know it. They know. Yeah. They know 100%.
Yeah.
Like it's because the whole thing is that's how they control us, because they know all the tools.
Yeah. It's like knowing all the rules, isn't it, to the system?
Yeah.
Once you know the rules.
Yeah. Well, they are the system.
Yeah.
They created it. So.
Yeah. You got to give it to them. They're pretty good at it.
Oh man. Yeah. They've been doing it for that long.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. Anyway, so to get back to that question, that's what that is. It's for the two inverted pyramids. But like we spoke about earlier on, with this manifesting thing, so you can spend your whole life. You can spend every waking minute of your life trying to work all these bits and pieces out. The spiritual realm, the flower of life, where it's all come from, how it works. You can look at the energy systems from up above, down below, how they spin, the photon and the thought, and like you can spend your whole life looking at that and researching and that, or you can just accept that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then, so then we just say, okay, well, how do we use it?
Yeah. Well,
So-
like you say before, we're doing it whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So why not just do it?
Yeah, so I like to say it's like a car. So we've got the car. So you could spend all your life, you could pull the
Yeah.
wheels off it, and you
Yeah.
could pull the whole thing to a million pieces, and you could look at the pistons and the rings and the how the petrol goes in and how the combustion works and how the spark plug works and why does it drive and how would it feel on the road and all these things. Or
You just get in
you
it.
go beep beep, press the button, open the door up, hop in the damn thing, and drive.
Yeah. Just got to put some fuel in it every once in a
Yeah.
while.
So what would be the things that you would need? You would need to know what fuel does it take, and what would be the best fuel for that vehicle.
Yeah.
Right, that'd be like us.
Yeah.
So for us, what do we need to drive us? So we need the fuel,
We need good food.
we need good food, and what would be the best food for our body? For not asking the question of for you or me, but I mean just in general, that's a question you would ask yourself.
Yeah.
Like you would ask yourself, well, what fuel do I need for my body to make it work? Because we're all different.
Yeah.
Because of our belief systems control that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing you say, right, so you know that you need whatever fuel you need to make you work the best. And then you need to know how do you start it and how does it work? That's the car. When you hop in to drive it, how do you drive it? Like, what do you have to do? And so that'd be like us. So you need to know what action plan you need to do whatever you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And then number 3 is you just start driving.
Set your destination.
And then the same as us, we just start heading in that. Yeah, set your destination. That's right, Craig. Thank you.
No worries, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, and then set your destination and then start heading towards it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
For the type of person you want to become or
Yeah.
you want to be or what you want to manifest in a short time or a long time and enjoy the journey as you're going along.
But so we can make, what I'm saying is, we can complicate it and make it as complicated as we like.
Yeah.
So if you want to drive the car, you can make that as complicated as you want, or you can make it as simple as you want and say, rightio, I need this type of fuel and I know how to start it, just press the button, then I'll hop in and then I'll work out as I drive, we start to get experience on driving. You start on the straights and then you go, rightio, then now I can go around corners and, okay, I can go this fast and you work out what your vehicle can do.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good analogy, isn't it? Yeah, what you want to do in your life is to how you drive your car and you get around in your car.
Yeah. So my thing is, like, man, make it as simple as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my thing. Like,
Well, what's that old saying? The KISS theory.
yeah,
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it. That was Einstein. Keep it as simple as possible, but not simpler. As mean, that. You've got to do it as simple as possible, but with the right simple.
Right.
So you still got to use the right action and all of those things.
Right.
So there are still things, but like really, who cares about all the other stuff?
Yeah.
Like, say we've got the journey, right? So we've been born, obviously. We're here, you or me, we're here. And so we're never on a journey. Right, okay, we accept that. And then we know that we can manifest in our journey and know that we can change it, but there's still parts to that. So we accept that. And then, okay, how do we do it? That's it.
And it's all pretty simple, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Once you know the rules, then away you go.
Yeah, and so that's, I don't know, I'm just trying to say to people, like, don't sweat all the stuff. Like, you can buy the thousands of books and all the things and all the journeys. And I mean, this is where Jeff, he loves all that stuff. I mean, if that's, and I'm not saying not to do that. I'm not saying for you not to do anything. I'm just saying that depends how you want to spend the journey. Like, if you want to spend the journey to max out the experience, or do you want to spend the journey to know how to max out the experience?
Either way, you're going to get there, aren't you?
You're going to get there, but But you're going to have two different experiences, though.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend all that time trying to work it out, and then you go, all right, now I figured it out, and it could be 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
And then so you've shortened that bit of the time that you've got to spend on journey.
If you want to hack it.
But if you want to hack the system, like we do.
we love a hack.
Yeah. And especially, it's like if you're young and you start to practice it, like you can practice it. Like the more that you practice it, the better and better that it becomes. Like I just had a podcast with Pia that we released today, and like we talked about that. Like she's been practicing like the spiritual thing from when she was a kid,
right?
And so she's been all that journey, all the different bits and pieces and bobs, and now she's come to the realization that just live the life.
Mm. Oh, okay. Rather than worry about all that other stuff.
Yeah, and just cut all that off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, just cut all that off. And then just start to go, okay, what do I want to manifest into my life? And then you start to practice that on your journey. And so remember that what we need to do, there's a few things that we need to do. We need to, first you've got to work out, well, the very, very first thing that you really need to do is clean up your system, as in all your anxieties and fears and all those things. Clean all them up first. That's really should be step one. That's what we do. But if you don't want to do all that, you can just go straight to the visualization. So you need to work out what you want in your head. Okay, what do I want? Say, for instance, like we'll just go to the simple thing like the car spot. So you're going to go to the shops. So you say that's the first decision that you've made. You're going to the shops, and then you're going to say which shops I'm going to go to. Say, all right, go to this shop, and then you're going to say, visualize yourself parking right as close as possible. Ask the universe, or manifest in your reality the closest spot to the door. Yeah, if that's what you want. Or you might want to go away from the door, depending on what you want.
Yeah. So you've got to decide.
You've got to decide, make the decision.
Yeah.
And then you visualise it, that you're driving into the parking lot. You drive right around and there's the spot right there, right in front of the door. Someone's just pulling out, you're pulling in, and right, that's it. And then you just let that go then. So then we don't worry about how it's going to happen or why it works, or we don't worry about all that stuff. Yeah. Or we just know that you have to have a knowing that it's going to happen. Yeah. You just have no other thought in your mind that that's what's going to show up.
Yeah. So it's like a confidence.
Yeah.
That confidence in that you can trust that it's going to go down like that.
Yeah. And with no other thought that it's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
So when you want to manifest something, you have to have full belief in it. Yeah. Not one single thought that that's going to be any different.
Yeah, because as soon as you have any element of doubt, it's sort of gone. It's cancelled out.
It's like an expectation.
Yeah.
Like you just expect it to happen.
Right.
Like and you'll be filthy if it doesn't.
Yeah. So that would be what happens like with different personalities, like a really confident person, and they just go through their life expecting, and they have confidence in their decisions and what they set in place, and they're usually the people that they say whatever they touch turns to gold. So that's because they're good manifestors?
Well, they're manifesting that into their life, aren't they? They don't expect anything different.
Yeah, right.
And then the opposite to that is the person that you meet, that they tell you all their whole life story and all their baggage and all the things and all the ups and that. And that's with Dad, right? Because Dad's 81, I think this year. Yeah, 81 this year. Just turned 81. And like, because he's in pretty good nick, except, when he had to, the doctors put him on the blood pressure tablets because he gets white coat syndrome. Yeah. Anyway, that's another topic. But when he goes out with all his mates, because he's still part of the fishing club and they all meet up on a Friday, or every second Friday now, I think. And he said everyone's talking about their ailments.
Right. Yeah.
They go, see, did you get out there? Everyone wants to tell about all their problems.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about, because he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to talk about ailments.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the ailments. Like he's still in good nick and he's still fit and healthy and
Yeah.
although he doesn't believe in what I believe, all this manifesting stuff, but he's manifesting.
But he's doing that.
Yeah. He's doing it unknowingly.
Yeah.
And that's why he has a resistance to when he doesn't like being around people talking about all that stuff all the time, because in his mind, he wants to be like his father, like my grandfather.
Yeah.
That goes all the way till the end, like in pretty good health, and then, within a couple of days you're dead.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the environment that he was brought up in, isn't it? From his dad, like your granddad.
Yeah.
He was brought up with that mode of thinking, whereas his other mates probably didn't have that. They were brought up by a negative environment or an ailment environment.
Yeah.
So that's because that's what they always say, isn't it? And I've heard you say it before. You're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
So environment's a huge thing, isn't it?
It's massive. And so what I was saying is so they're manifesting in the negative side of it. So we're getting...
As in their ailments.
In their ailments. So we're getting... That's what I'm saying. You are manifesting every day, whether you believe it or you don't believe it. So getting back to the car spot. So if you're thinking about the car spot, I don't know if this really works. I don't know if that really works.
Right.
And so then you put the negative connotation onto it.
Yeah.
Well, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And if someone tells you that it's not going to work, and then in your mind you're thinking, and then you don't get the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this doesn't work. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And so then it can never work.
Yeah.
And
but
so,
if you just accepted it and went along with it.
Yeah, it's more than accepted too, though. Remember, Craig, that it's got to be a full belief.
Yeah.
It has to be a full belief. And then has to be a full belief in your system for that to happen. And this is why goals don't work. If you look, say we're halfway through the year now, so all the people that set their goals at Christmas time,
or New Year's
resolutions, and they're normally gone within the first week, but by now they're nearly 99% of people, all of them they'd be straight back to where they were.
Yeah, right.
Because we have a default system, and the default system runs our whole body.
Being our initial program, you mean?
Our initial program, yeah.
Yeah.
So that runs our whole program. And so I'll go back to the car analogy again. So you've got cruise control in your car, and you set it to 100. So whenever you're not thinking, say you're on the freeway, right, and you set it to 100 on your cruise control, well, the car's always going to be going roughly, or always go back to that 100. So you can go up and down with and then you go up a hill and it goes, drops a little bit, then it goes up above.
Yeah,
so it doesn't always sit, unless you're on a perfectly flat plane, it'll sit on 100, but it goes generally a few kilometres either side of that. And that's sort of... So
there's other influences, isn't there? There's people pulling in front of you, and like you say, you're going up and down hills, and but you're just trying to relate that it always go back to the 100
to the default.
Yeah, that's because that's what you put into it.
Yeah, and the newer cars have got, which of what we have, is the adaptive cruise control.
Yeah.
So then it automatically will slow down if there's something in front.
Yeah.
But that default is still there.
Yeah.
But it automatically slows down, and then you can pull out, and then it will automatically speed up to that again.
Yeah.
And so we are the same. So if something happens in our life, we will automatically go to whatever the scenario is. But then as soon as we have a free run again, we'll go back to the default.
Back to the default.
Yeah. But at any time, we can override that. At any time, we can override that with our free will.
If you choose.
Yeah. So our free will is our choice to override something.
Yeah.
And that we can use that for a long time to override. But eventually, you have to go back to your default mode, because it's the cruise control thing.
Yeah.
And so the only way that you can do it is to reset your default. Like, you have to reset your default. So what I'm saying about manifesting into your life, and Pru and I were talking about manifesting, it's probably not the right word, but creating your reality. When you want to create a reality of something different, well, then you have to change your vibrational match to that thing. So you need to become that thing.
Right.
Say, for instance, we talk about a weight thing. If it was a weight. So I'm going to show you in a minute what I did. For weight, I set my weight at 85 kilos, but I found I was just always hungry all the time, hungry, and I'd never experienced it before. But I was at 85 generally most of the time, up and down a bit, bit either side. So I thought, oh God, I want to get rid of this. So then I looked it up and said, about the how many % fat is good for your health. I went, 15 or 17, I think is like athlete. And I went, I don't want to be an athlete. I think we talked about this before. So, and then, so I set the 20%. And so I reprogrammed my default mode to be under 20%. And so
when you say like you program that in, how do you actually program that in?
Oh, you have to do, it's a bit of a thing. So that's part of like the Freedom Network that we teach. That's what we have to teach that part, because we have to do, there's like a fair few steps and a physical action that we need to do to reprogram. It generally takes about an hour or so for each time when you reprogram, depending on the programs, because the programs might have all other different parts attached to it as well. So you need to go through and change all those. But yeah, it's a physical thing that you need to do, plus intentions and all that. Like there's a process to it. There is a process.
Yeah, and once it's done, it's done.
Oh yeah, once it's finished.
Unless you want to change it again.
Yeah. So what we're actually saying is that there is a bit of a process to changing all your default, but 100% guaranteed you can change your default mode. So what I'll do is I won't get it up now because that's too much mucking around with our my technology system. We're not running a Joe Rogan show. So what I'll do, I'll put it up on Facebook, and because what I did this morning, I took I re-weighed myself again, because I hadn't weighed myself for ages, and I did that on purpose, because normally what you do, right, when you after you've reset your default mode, so then you've got to create the action to get down to that, you need to become that person.
Yeah.
So you still have
that new weight.
At the new weight, so you still have to do the action to get there.
Yeah.
But then once you're there, it's like the cruise control, it's set. And so I'll put up on my Facebook, I think it was like October or something that I changed that, and it drops like a rock. It goes straight off the thing, and then it comes down below the line that comes up. Now it's just sitting around 9. This morning was 19.2% body fat.
Wow. And so how quick was that it dropped off straight away as soon as you set
Well, no, not straight away. It's like took a couple of months.
Right.
But pretty,
Yeah, but as soon as you set that intention,
it starts going.
It starts going.
Yeah, it has to.
Because that's the new.
That's
default.
That's the new me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's my new. It has to.
Yeah.
Like it can't not. Like the apple seed must turn into the apple tree. It can't not.
Yeah.
And so I took it this morning and I took a screenshot of it. So everyone can see it's in real time, and it's got the graph from when I took the. So when I started. And all the things I think I've weighed myself like 200 and something times.
Wow.
Yeah, over my whole weight journey.
Yeah.
And because.
And you didn't really change anything else?
No. I had to change my eating a little bit to get down to it.
Right.
But now I just eat normal. I just eat what I've always eaten.
It just maintains that because you've set that new default.
That's just the default, mate.
It's pretty amazing, eh?
Oh yeah. It's ridiculous. Like the power that we have as humans, it is unbelievable. Like unbelievable. It's way outside what you think is possible. And so it's like it's so hard to believe it unless you try it.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you try it, and the whole thing is that you can't be more than you are. You can't be more than you are. That means that your default mode, you have. And the more than you are is your default mode. So you've got to work out what your default mode is and what all the parts are. And then you've got to work out what do I actually want to keep and what do I actually want to chop off and what do I actually need. Yeah. So it's a bit of a process to work. You've got to work on yourself.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to do for your own body, for instance, and your life. So you've got to work out the direction. But then, like you were saying before, there's the environment. So the environment around you makes a massive difference.
Yeah. Well, that's what initially put your program in, wasn't it? From 0 to 7, what your environment was at the time, from 0 to 7 is what your default was.
Yeah, and you hear people all the time, when they go see the sick care professionals and all that, and then they always say about, it was because, my past that this happened or that happened or this happened. And because nearly everybody knows that why they are who they are is because of things that have happened to them in previous times. But what they don't know is that so if you go to the sick care professional, they'll put you on a medication to try and mask up the issue.
Right.
Not realising that you can actually re-change the program to get a different outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so is that like when they say you've got a certain prognosis because of your DNA and your history, your family history and everything? So if once that's in there, that you're virtually manifesting that?
Yeah. So with the DNA thing, I don't know. I really don't know. And then Pia said when I was speaking to her about it, and she says that, and it could be correct, that we all have sleeping DNA, that things can be activated.
Right.
Turned on and turned off.
Through thought?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and because, I believe that we come in and out for our manifestation. I think you remember that movie Groundhog Day? What was his name? That did that movie, I can't think.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah. And every day he has to keep doing the exact same thing until he discovers why he's doing that.
Yeah.
Remember? And then he finally works it out.
So until he finally works it out, he's just going to keep on going and going and going on the same path.
Yeah, that's what he did through the movie.
Yeah.
And he tried all sorts of things to get out of the program.
Yeah.
And then the alarm would go rah, 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 and wake up in the morning, and then he'd have to go through the whole process again. And then he worked out what he had to do.
And then he was out of the
and then he was out of the program. Then he was able to move on.
Right.
And so
it's like you've said before. It's like a computer game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't go from one level to the next until you realise what you've got to do. So
you've got to conquer that level.
You've got to conquer that level before you can. Well, and it's the same, like you say. Until you're ready to conquer that level, you can't move on.
Yeah.
Because you've got to acquire the skills to move on to the next level or whatever. And that can be the same in your life, can't it? And it's not going to give you something if you're not ready for it, I suppose, is what we're trying to say.
And it's a weird thing because they say, we don't know if this is true or not. It's only hearsay that you come in, right? But when you come into the vehicle, they don't have any control because we've got our free will is our control. So it's...
You mean when you're a baby?
Yeah, our whole journey.
Right.
So there's no control. So you have to sort of do the journey like Bill Murray. You've got to do the journey by practice and by looking and then seeing and then looking around to see what the journey is that you're meant to be on, and then you conquer it, and then you get to move to another.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the journey, I think, that you're meant to have. So you've got your free will can always be changing you to whatever you wish.
Right.
So it's not like you do a bit of the program and you go in and you go, right, now I've already done that bit, so now I can do this bit. So we might have to do the whole bit over again because we don't realise we've already done that.
Yeah.
But it could be telling us, when things just aren't going right, or you might get an injury or something and says, no, that's the wrong journey. Like you're meant to be doing this.
Yeah. So it's sort of guiding
like the flow. When they say, they're in the flow.
Oh, yeah. When you're hot, and when you're not, you're not.
Yeah. So maybe when you're hot, that's what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why, like you said before, it's the flow. When you're in the flow, it's like that some days you go out and you just get wave after wave after. We've had it all the time. Yeah. And it's usually the opposite for what one person is, because the other person sees the other guy getting heaps of waves and it puts him under pressure to try and get more waves, but he just can't get in that flow.
Yeah.
And the other, like I could be surfing my head off and you're getting squat.
What do you mean? What about if I'm surfing my head off and you're getting squat?
Well, yeah, whatever way.
No, that's right.
No, but yeah.
And that actually happens all the time,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
well,
Especially for us two.
Yeah, and it's like when you're watching the footy or at times, and they'll talk about a guy that's in form.
Yeah.
And everything he does, like pass the ball out the back or look for the next play, he's just on the money.
Yeah.
Whereas other guys, or a cricketer, you're seeing the ball straight, you're going to whack it around the park all day.
Yeah.
But the dude that goes out there with a bit of doubt in his mind that he's going to hit the ball, he's going to get out every time, and he gets into they call it a slump, don't they?
Yeah, because he's manifesting it.
Because he's manifesting it, because he's got that element of doubt that he's not going to be able to handle that situation.
Yeah. And so we can use that for our whole life analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were saying before, you wake up in the morning. If you spring out of bed in the morning, do your Tibetans and your morning routine and set yourself up, you're going to smash the day. But if you have a sort of any element of doubt in your day and any sort of dread or whatever, it's going to start off. And it's probably going to start off by your commute. You're going to get every red light.
Yeah.
And then once you get into that spiral, it's just going to keep throwing red lights at you, and you're going to get to work. And it's such a bad place, aren't you?
Yeah.
But if you get every green light on the way to work, you're on fire, and you're going to take the day on.
Yeah. Talking about the Tibetans, I'll put that up on the free community as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, totally free. So anyone can go and do it. Isn't it that good?
Excellent.
Yeah.
You definitely I've had a bit of a down week this week, and I missed out on my Tibetans for a good few days in a row, and wow, I did it this morning.
Yeah. And
just getting back into that zone, but wow, it really picked me up this morning. But those days when you miss out.
Yeah, and I didn't do it for a few days either. I think I had about 4 days off in a row, and then because it's cold, you don't want to get up and you're lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Like lazy Troy.
It's easy to go back to that, isn't it?
It's so easy to be lazy. So easy. And so I didn't get up and do the Tibetans. And so I thought, I'll just get up and do the 21 again. Oh, mate.
You didn't revert back?
No. Like 4 days, that's enough to... And then that you feel sick. Like it really knocks you about if you don't recharge properly. So it's like if you're a car battery and you run it right down and you just tried to put the full charge back in right instant, you'll blow the battery up.
Yeah.
You got to put on trickle charge.
Yeah, and build it up.
And build it up, and it takes hours. And so the Tibetans is the exact same thing. So it's building up your charge of your body. And so once you get up to the 21, you've got to keep it charged.
Yeah. Well, once you get up to 21, you're pretty much set, aren't you? Really,
how good does it feel? Though?
Yeah, you're pretty. Like talking about hot, you're
There's
hot.
It's such a strange feeling to be full of energy, though. And not energy as in. It's a different energy. Not energy as going out and being able to climb a mountain energy.
Oh no.
Like a body energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels. Can't even get a word. Straight, not straight. I don't know. Full. Yeah, strong or together or something.
Yeah, I find it just feels good, and I don't know. Might be a placebo or whatever, but I definitely do notice the days.
But placebo is just manifesting anyway.
Yeah.
That's a coined word by the powers,
Right.
That when you manifest something, like they use that for testing medications. So every single medication that they come up with has to be tested with a sugar pill, supposedly has to be. Test with a sugar pill to see if there's any difference between just a person going that they can heal themselves, because everyone has the ability, to if it will make that bit better, the percentage-wise.
Right.
So if it makes them worse, so they give someone a sugar pill, right, and tell them that they're going to heal themselves, and so they automatically heal themselves, and then they give the other person the medication, and they also heal themselves, but did they heal themselves that little bit quicker?
Right.
That's the idea. Did they go that little bit quicker, or did they go further down? And so did the person that had the sugar pill that automatically heals themselves? That's why they've got to test against that.
Right.
Because they know.
Yeah.
They know that. Just we're not told it, And the people that are getting the sugar pill, they don't know that they have the ability to heal themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't even need the sugar pill, they could just go, they could do anything. They could just make anything up. So they could just grab, say, this thing here and go, right, I'm sick. If I touch this and wave it in their hair 3 times, this is going to make me better.
Yeah.
That's what they could, if they wanted to, they could use that as a trigger or something like that.
Well, I remember back, it was like the old days back in primary school, and if you had a rabbit's foot, it'd be lucky. Oh, a horseshoe.
A horseshoe.
You'd touch that and you thought your luck was on your side.
Yeah, they used to have a trigger thing. It's a trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a placebo, really, isn't it?
Yeah, because everything's a program. Like, we're programmable. We are programmable. That means everything around us is programmable. The whole thing is a program. And that's why the trigger thing. So if you listen to music, say you listen to an old song, right? And because, we've been on the earth plane for a bit of time.
Yeah.
And so we listen to an old song that say we're at a nightclub and we're 16 and we've snuck into the pub or something, and someone's put a music on the pub and we've got a beer in our hand. Say, totally illegal, and it's made a bit of a thing. So if you listen to that song now, it can be an instant trigger
Back to that
exact same time, and then you go, oh yeah, I remember that time when we were at the pub and we were 16 and we snuck in and we grabbed a beer. Yeah. So that's what a trigger is. A trigger can snap you straight there, because time's not real. Time's not lineal.
Right.
Yeah. So time is, it's not like you have to relive your whole life to get back to there.
Back there, yeah.
No, you don't have to live all those days. It's just in a folder.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why you can trigger. And the same as a smell.
Oh, yeah, smells definitely trigger.
Yeah, like if a lady's wearing perfume,
yeah.
and say some lady walks past you and she's got a really nice perfume, but then you could think back to a time, or you might even think about it might be the same as your partner's perfume or your wife, and you go, oh, and then it brings straight away a memory of your wife doing something, or she could have been doing something, or your girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a trigger. A smell. These are all triggers.
Yeah.
And this is why the powers that be do all the triggers. That's what we said before about the masks. So the mask is a trigger.
Right.
So if you see go on to anything on the computer and they get that exact picture, with the mask, and it's got like the bits on the outside that go over your ears. So it looks the same all the time. So as soon as you see it, COVID.
Yeah, right.
Like it's a trigger.
Yeah.
And so it reminds you of how bad we're told it was.
So it was like a fear campaign.
Yeah, but they use it for that. They use all the triggers.
Yeah.
And like that, now they're using the rainbow. So the rainbow's a trigger.
Yeah.
And then everything's a trigger. Like it's something to trigger you back, because everything's a program. That's what I'm saying. That we're doing it whether we like it or not. But then you have to realise, you have to understand. When you understand it, this is the part about why I keep harping on about become self-empowered and limitless. So once you become that person, and then you understand all these things that are around you and things that are happening, and even people around you can do things to trigger you into something. So they could do or say, or
to influence
you.
Yeah.
And then you're unaware, because it's automatic. Like triggers are automatic.
Right.
But once you become self-empowered and limitless, you understand what triggers do and how they work.
Yeah.
And as soon as it triggers and you snap into something, you go, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, you can catch yourself.
You can catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can catch it before it happens.
Yeah.
And then you can go, right. And then it could even be something like your partner or your wife or whatever says something to you, because they know they want to roll you up for whatever reason.
Yeah, they know how to push your buttons.
They want to push your buttons, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then if
and get a reaction that then can spiral you either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then you can also, and might not even they really are trying to roll you up. They could be just doing that, and then for some reason that triggers you into a response. But you can change that response and go, hang on a minute, why am I thinking that that's bad? That's just them.
Yeah.
You know, so then you can change that response to
Yeah.
change that trigger to a different response.
Yeah.
Which will give a different outcome, which will create a different reality.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it, eh? It's like how many times, if you have a bad reaction to something, the chain of events that get set into place, like sliding door moment, it can change your life, can't it, really?
Yeah, so the idea is that I want everyone to know is that we are manifesting or creating our reality. If we get away from that manifesting, if we're creating our reality knowingly or unknowingly. It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
And if you don't take control knowingly, you will be controlled.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yeah.
Because we are so easily programmed humans.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable how easy we can be programmed.
Yeah.
By certain things. Like I noticed this morning when I woke up, if you start to listen to the language of what they're saying on the radio, you sort of get to say, okay, this is what a possible future is going to be. And so this morning they said something about the Earth had its hottest day again in 2 in a row or something like this, or 17 point something degrees. Like, okay, so they're obviously trying to ramp up the heat now.
Right.
And then and then you were telling me just out of conversation that you heard that they were saying that this is the end of the rainy season.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, and now we're getting
into
into heat. Yeah, and now we're going to start to watch out for bushfires.
Bushfires and stuff. Yeah.
So they're ramping up because we're in the winter now, right? And they're going to ramp up from now to get bushfires by summer.
Right.
So you'll notice the skies might clear up because of it. They won't be spraying us anymore. So there'll be no cloud seeding or things like that. And if you don't believe in cloud seeding, all you have to do is go into Google and type in cloud seeding patent, and there's all the patents are on there. And they show you the planes, and they show you the patents, and they show you the thing. And there's also here in Australia in the Snowy Mountain River Scheme around there, they tell you on the government website that they've been cloud seeding that area because they want to keep the rainfall high to fill up.
To flow the hydro system.
Yeah, to flow the hydro system. Yeah. So it's the government are telling you that they're cloud seeding in that area.
Yeah.
To create the weather for that thing. So
they're manipulating the weather.
Yeah.
Well, they've been doing it for over 100 years, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. So they've been doing it a long time. But why I just said that so that it's not conspiracy, it's actual true fact. And so what you'll probably notice now that there'll be more language along those lines of how we're heating up.
Right.
So how we're heating up. So then by the time we get to a radical bushfires in Australia at Christmas, I'm not saying it's actually going to happen, but there's a high probability if they keep that language going all the way through till Christmas. There's a very high probability that we're going to have big bushfires.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason they're going to create that, I don't know. But they'll tell us. They're always telling us. They tell us in advance all the time what they're doing, because it's a program. So they don't just go. Just bang and do something. It's always slow. They do bang, chip away. Because that's how we work. Yeah. We work by little bit, and that's how we grow our muscle as well. We can't just go in and do.
You've got to build it up.
Yeah, we can't just go straight in and start pumping 100 kilo. We've got to start with 10 kilos and then work our way up, and then all of a sudden, over a period of time, we can do 100 kilos.
Yeah, and they know how humans operate, don't they, and function and work.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is that if you believe that or you don't believe it, doesn't really matter. But that's if you become self-empowered and limitless, if you become a person that really looks after their mind and creates a strong mind, all these things will start. They're like beacons. They just come and go, oh, right, they're talking about that. But then you're able to prepare for a future that if that happens, then I can do this. Yeah. That's the idea of it. Yeah. And then it's not to say if it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. It's just to say if it did, you would have a response. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the idea. So the idea is that we've given you over this last 5 series everything that you need to know about manifesting and that it's very real.
You've just got to become aware of it and
Yeah.
what your capabilities can actually be.
Yeah, and then you
Really.
need to work out your default mode. Obviously, you need to do your default mode and all these things that you can change all that and become more than you are. But at least you know all the tools. If you want to just keep on the same road that you're at, but then be able to manifest things into your life.
So when you talk about the default mode, how would anybody know what their default mode is that didn't know anything about this previously?
Yeah. So you can test it. You can test all your belief systems through muscle testing. So you can do like I think it's kinesiology. So you can test all your belief systems through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can say if I have it or I don't have it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you don't have it, then we just install it like a program.
Right.
So we install the new program so
Yeah.
that now you have that app.
Yeah.
It's like an app on your phone.
Yeah.
So you go to your phone, you flick it up or whatever, and then you see all the apps.
Yeah. But to become blatantly obvious to anybody, like we've talked about, you just got to look around how you talk, what you have.
Yeah, because
that'd virtually tell you what your default is anyway.
the easiest, it's very hard to analyse yourself because you don't want to believe it.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to believe it. Like you look in the mirror, but you don't want to take your clothes off.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't want to believe that your body looks like that because you've manifested that, because you've done it.
Yeah.
So you have to. So it's a responsibility thing.
Yeah.
But you can easily look at somebody else, and so you can see how they manifest their journey.
And
So then
what their default is.
Yeah, and what their default is.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you can easily do that. You can trace all those things, but you can say, all right, I can see what they've done. I can see where they come from, and why they're doing that process the way they're doing it is because this, and this.
Right.
Yeah, and that's who that person is. But it's very hard for us
To look at ourselves.
Yeah, because we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because every single thing that we do is our own doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance,
Whether it's good or bad.
whether it's good or bad. We love to take the good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
proud moment.
yeah, let's say when we manifest that car spot, woo. But when we manifest the fat body, like, that's not my fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the reason. So it is difficult. Yeah, and this road is not the easiest of roads. Like, it's not the easiest of roads, but it's damn exciting.
So you say it's not the easiest of roads because it's pretty much the opposite to what we've always been ingrained with.
Yeah.
From when we went to school and.
Getting the herd mentality.
Yeah. So you got to virtually unlearn.
Yeah.
Everything and look.
But it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like the journey is exciting. Like this is the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we all just want to live an exciting life, don't we? Like as a human, wouldn't that? Like you want to get to the end of your journey, right? Say you get to your journey and you're 100. You want to look back over your 100 years and go, oh mate,
that was pretty cool.
What a journey! I did this.
You don't want to have any regrets.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
The idea is to do that. But then, if obviously you're young, you've got all that time to be able to create that journey. Know that you are a creator and you are creating the journey. Like it's too late when you're at 100 and you're looking back and going, oh man,
Yeah.
I knew I had all this knowledge and all this stuff, and I just didn't use it because A, B, and C.
Yeah. If we had known this stuff, even 20 years ago, we would have been powering, wouldn't we?
Yeah, but we're still young.
Yeah.
In our mind.
Oh, yeah.
We've
still got a lot of living to do.
I'm going to 150, so
You're not even middle aged.
No, not even middle age yet. Anyway, so that's our 5th podcast. I think that's enough knowledge now for everybody to know how to manifest and all those things. But obviously, if you want to learn more or you want to enhance yourself to more than you are, to come over to the Freedom Network. Don't forget, we have a totally free platform there where we are trying to get everyone enlightened by the end of this year, like to become in the best version of yourself that you can be imagine getting to Christmas and you were just rocking, like your body's good, your mind's good, all these things. And so that's our idea. And don't forget, we have 3 podcasts a week, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. We're on all the platforms. So we're here to help you. We're here to help you to become strength.
Become limitless.
Limitless. That's our new one, limitless. So thanks, Craig. Thanks for having
No
being
worries.
part of the Freedom Network and being part of this podcast series.
Thanks for having me here.
And it's time to move on to what's going on in the world.
Beautiful.
Oh, the rabbit hole. And boy, is it deep.
Oh, wow.
So, it'll be a bit of controversy, but, is what it is. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next ones. Thank you.
See ya.